Hi, this is Alex from Tileyard Education, and this is a tutorial on parallel compression in Pro Tools. So, as you can see, we have all of my drum tracks here. It's just a drum recording that we did with a band called the Shangri-Lads, who are really cool. They're kind of like an old school, punky sort of vibe. So, just play a quick demo now. So as you can hear, it's very punchy, very energetic, quite heavy. So I think that this technique will really bring out the energy that it needs. So just very quickly, parallel compression, what is it? So basically, if we have a drum bus, like we can see down here, we will be sending that to another bus called a parallel compression bus. Now, what we're going to do, that parallel compression bus is going to have a compressor on it, though obviously, and it's going to be very hardly compressed, very compressed. So what we're going to do, we have our drum bus and we have our compression bus, and with that compression bus being very affected, we're going to send our drums just a little bit into that parallel compression bus, so we have that drive, that punch, that energy from the parallel compression. Not too much, because otherwise it will sound way too compressed and too driven, but if we just have an element of that, then that will really just give it a bit more drive, which is what this track needs, I feel. So starting this off in Pro Tools, though, as I said, we already have all of my tracks here being routed into this drum bus. So what we're going to do now is create a new track by hitting Command-Shift-N, and that will bring up our new track box. And we're going to go to Stereo, Aux Input Track, and hit Create. This is the slow way of doing it, by the way. I'll teach you the fast way in a minute, but that has created a new auxiliary input track. Now, what we're going to be doing is going on the track itself, by double clicking and going parallel comp and hitting enter. So what we're going to do is set an input on this auxiliary track. So we're going to hit the input tab here, go to bus and go to parallel comp there. Now we have to actually put our compressor on the track itself. So let's go to the inserts, onto Dynamics, and for the sake of this tutorial, we're going to go to the stock Pro Tools compressor. Okay, so now we have our compressor on our track. The input is set on the bus. Now, what we have to do is go to our original drum bus and go to our sends, go to bus and parallel comp. So now we have everything all set up. What I'm going to do is just adjust these parameters a little bit. I'm going to start off very heavy, so go to like 50 to 1, 60 to 1, and bring down the threshold. This is kind of ridiculous. You probably wouldn't use this, but just for demonstration purposes, it's good to show you how it sounds. So that's all set. We're going to play the track, and you won't hear anything. Now, the reason for that is that we need to put our sends here up. So we're going to be sending our drum track into this parallel compression. Okay, so I'm going to slowly ride the fader up and you can hear the effect. So the immediate thing that you hear, it sounds a whole lot punchier, it sounds a whole lot more driven, it just sounds like more energetic, and I think that's the main reason why we use this technique, is to get that extra punch from the drums. The kick is more punchy, it's more clear, the whole sound is more rounded. At the moment it's a bit too much in my opinion, only because I'm kind of got a very high ratio and a low threshold just for demonstration purposes, but I'm going to start tweaking in a minute. Now, with this particular sound and this particular track, it's obviously, like I said at the start, as part of the Shangri-Lads sound, it's very it's very old school, it's very heavy. So the mic placement, I had the door open here in our live room, and also set up some hall mics as well, so it's quite a roomy sound anyway. So when I send this through the parallel compression, the hall is going to be slightly emphasized, just like a little bit more, but in my opinion, for this track and this vibe, it definitely gives it a whole lot more life. So I'm going to just start tweaking on the actual compressor itself, things like the attack and release, which will give it slightly different characteristics, as you can hear now. So as you can hear, this has definitely given these drums a lot more life, a lot more punch, a lot more attack, which is very much needed for this sort of vibe. Now, I've gone quite heavy on this. Obviously, do adjust these parameters, things like the ratio and the threshold, to your liking and to what suits the actual track. But this can also be used on all genres of music. So, for example, if you had like an electronic track and you wanted to kind of hit it in the chorus or the breakdown quite a lot, what I normally do is I normally automate parallel compression level. So say in the verse, like it might be quite low, still quite punchy, but then hit the chorus or hit the breakdown and it could definitely do with a bit more life. And the way I do that is by riding this parallel compression send level. It gives it just a bit more oomph that you need in these particular sections. So as you can hear, this has given it a whole lot more grit, more vibrance, more energy that I think that the track needs. And it can be quite subtle, but if you use it effectively and use it well with automation, then it will definitely make a difference to your tracks. So I really hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you on the next video.